Let's see who did well and not so well in week 3. And what are our predictions for week 4 of the English Premier League?
Looking back at week 3, we started on Friday night kickoff with Chelsea versus Luton. And as predicted, it was a fairly comfortable win for Chelsea. Chelsea, a team that hasn't necessarily doing amazing. They are 4 points out of their last 3 games. And a 3-0 win was expected. Luton will be going back down. There is no doubt about it. And I predicted 3-0. And I got 3-0. So it's 3 points in the bag straight away. A really, really good start there. Then Saturday's first game was Bournemouth versus Tottenham. And I went for a 2-1 Tottenham win. I thought the way that Bournemouth should be playing this season, they should have an opportunity to score. They did, they just didn't take these opportunities. And Spurs came away with a 2-0 win, but I chose 2-1. So I get a close score, which is really, really good. So 1.5 points. That makes all the difference. That half a point makes all the difference. Then, I don't know what the hell happened here. I honestly, what the hell happened here? I think Fulham did okay last season. They got some good results when needed. I did a 3-0 win for Arsenal. They drew 2-2. Look, the only plus side is, so when you get weird results like this, the only plus side is very few people would have predicted this. So 2% of people predicted a draw. Less than 1% of people predicted Fulham to win. So, at least if you're not getting any points, neither are the other people. So there's a plus, but a really, really weird result. And that is not good for Arsenal. They're still in 5th, still 2 points behind Man City. So it's not the end of the world, but Man City are already top, just a spoiler for you. Then, I was gutted about this one as well. Brentford versus Crystal Palace. I didn't think Crystal Palace would have enough this season to really do anything. I thought they will be close to relegation, losing Wilf Zaha, who was their real talisman. Brentford been strong, but they are lacking Ivan Toney at the moment, aren't they? Obviously, because of the gambling problem that happened. I did a 2-1 for Brentford. It was a draw, 1-1. So, nothing. 2 games in a row, I got absolutely nil point. 31% of people got a draw. Well done for you guys. Next up, we had Everton versus Wolves. Now, I was wrong again. I went for a draw. I went for a 1-1. Everton, they cannot afford to go down. We're only 3 weeks in, and it is not looking good. They are still on 0 points. Wolves, I think they showed a little bit against Man United, so maybe I should have gone for a win for Wolves, but I thought it would be an even game, but nothing on the board for that one as well. Then we move over to Man United versus Nottingham Forest, and another game where what the hell is going on? Forest, they should stay up this year, right? If they're putting in performances like this, they only lost 2-1 to Arsenal, losing 3-2 to Man United. Now, a loss is a loss. At the end of the day, a loss, it doesn't matter how close it is, you still get nothing for a loss. But Man United are not doing great, are they? Most people predicted Man United. I went for a 2-0, so I get 1 point for a result. But they should not be letting Forest score 2 goals against them. That is not good. Then Brighton versus West Ham, and just look at the percentages. 82% of people went for a Brighton win. West Ham are absolutely flying. Honestly, I will say this every week. James Ward-Prowse is just incredible for them. He is doing so well. Taken from me, it's so depressing. Yeah, but Brighton lost 3-1 to West Ham. I get absolutely nothing. I did go for a draw. God, this is weird, up and down week. Then Burnley versus Villa. I did a 3-0 for Aston Villa. And I was pretty close. Not many people went for a Burnley win. I don't think Burnley will stay up either. I think it's a difficult war. I think it's going to be between Sheffield United, Burnley, Luton and Everton at this rate. And it's showing right now. But Burnley did score a 3-1 win to Aston Villa. Then Sheffield United versus Man City. Now, if anything, this gives you a little bit of hope for Sheffield United because they didn't get walked over. I went for a 4-0 win to Man City. I don't think anyone really, less than 1% of people picked Sheffield United. I don't know anyone that would have picked them. 99% of people went for a Man City win, and they were right. But I expect people thought it would be a bigger win. So a result is better than nothing. Then, last game was Newcastle versus Liverpool, and exact score. Get in there. I did 2-1 to Liverpool. I don't think Newcastle are going to do the same as what they did last year. And they're trying, they're doing okay. They're not getting battered. They actually won, obviously, beat Aston Villa 4-5-1 or whatever it was. But they're not necessarily beating the teams around them, that or the bigger teams, the Liverpools and things. But they are keeping the scores close. But I don't think they're going to make Champions League top 4 this year. Looking at the table after week 3 then, Johan is sitting at the top with around 40 points. Then there is me in second place. I am there with 37 points, doing okay. I'm happy with that. There are some results I would have preferred to have got my way, but I'm there in second place. Let's look at some movers. K-Power 96 up 5 places. There's a few. Oh, Kev. Oh, Kev. Kev gets the golden hat this week, gone up 10 places. He must have had a few exact results there. Judo Eza up 6. Richmond up 15. Oh, E-Bag 981 gets the wooden spoon this week. Gone down 8 places. But there's a lot of movement as expected at the moment. Make sure you join. It's in the description down below. You may have to catch up a little bit. On Friday the 1st of September, we go to Kenilworth Road for the first season back in the Premier League. They finally improved it, apparently. Luton Town versus West Ham. Luton Town are going to lose. That's all I'm going to say. 0-3. There you go. West Ham are going to win 3-0. 3-0. It should be... I don't know what's going on there. I'm having a panic attack. So there you go. Saves. I can't see Luton winning this. I know it's at Kenilworth Road, but they surely just cannot win. West Ham are really, really performing well, as I said with James Ward-Prowse. They're doing well and they shouldn't lose. Then on Saturday at Bramall Lane, Sheffield United versus Everton. This is it should be a tricky one because neither team should do well this year. However, Sheffield United have been showing a little bit more fight. They lost only 2-1 last week to Man City. It's at Bramall Lane as well. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to Sheffield United to get them off the 0 points to 3. I don't know. Who knows? It may be a draw. It may be a loss. Who knows? Then at the G-Tech Community Stadium, I've been there for 2 London Irish games. Brentford versus Bournemouth. Brentford should win. They're at home. Bournemouth, ups and downs. They're under new management. They're trying to play a more attacking style of game, but it's showing weaknesses in their defence for sure. Brentford draw. They should win. I'm going to go 2-1 to Brentford. They only drew last week, but I think they should have enough to beat a struggling Bournemouth side. Then at Turf Moor, Burnley versus Tottenham. It's at Turf Moor, yes, and Burnley normally a difficult team to break down. Tottenham are doing well. Life after Harry Kane is not too bad by the looks of it at the moment. They've got plenty of money in the bank. I don't know if they're going to get any more signings in before the weekend, but Burnley should not win. I'm going to go a 2-0 win to Spurs. I don't think it will be a blowout, but I think Spurs will win by enough. Stamford Bridge, Chelsea versus Forest. Weird. It's very much a mix for Chelsea at the moment, isn't it? It's a draw, a loss, and a win. I don't know. Do I go for a shock Forest? I think I will. I'm going to go 2-1 to Forest. That is going to be... Yeah. I just think Chelsea still a little bit all over the place, whereas Forest, they've put up some good performances, haven't they? You know, losing 2-1 to Arsenal, 3-2 losing to Man United, so they can score. I'm gonna get an upset here. Forest 2-1. Then at the Etihad, Man City versus Fulham. Fulham once again win, loss, draw, but Man City are Man City. I'm going to go a 3-0, I think. Fulham put up a good performance in the last game against Arsenal, but it's Man City. Man City should have enough to beat them. Brighton versus Newcastle. Now, Brighton 2 wins out of the last 3. Newcastle only 1 win out of the last 3. However, Newcastle have certainly had the toughest start of the season. I'm going to go a 3-1 to Newcastle. I think Brighton is still a really, really good team. People are very admiring of Brighton at the moment and last season. But they lost 3-1 to West Ham, even though West Ham did not play that well. There's something going wrong. But this is possibly when Newcastle should show the spending power that they've had, maybe. Let's just think of it like that. Then Sunday, Selhurst Park, Crystal Palace versus Wolves. This is a weird one as well. This is such a weird one because Crystal Palace, I really don't know. I'm going to go with a draw. I think I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. I don't see anything splitting these sides at the moment. Anfield, Liverpool versus Aston Villa. More or less identical performances so far. Liverpool should have enough. They're at home. They are technically the better team. Who knows about Mo Salah, because there are still the murmurings of Salah going over to Saudi, and if they lose him, that is a huge loss, even if I think he's a cheat. Salah is an absolute cheater, but they should have enough. I'm going to go 3-1 to Liverpool. Then, last game of the week, Arsenal versus Man United. It's going to be an interesting one. Both teams, yes, they both won two. Arsenal drew last week against Forest. No, Arsenal drew against Fulham. Man United squeezed by the finest margin against Forest. I'm going to go with a win for Arsenal. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Arsenal. They're at home. I think their team cohesion is better, but they've got to take the chances. And Man United just seem... And the fact that Man United are 8th with 2 wins out of 3, they've scraped through. Over to the fantasy team now, and we got 52 points last week. Average points was 44, highest was 128. If you got anywhere near that, wow. Now, looking at my team, I would also say the good thing about the fantasy league is that if you have injured players and you have the subs to cover them, the subs will automatically go into the team, which saves a few points at least. Now, looking at the team, I was definitely right to put Areola in goal instead of Pickford. Areola gets 5 points for me for West Ham. It automatically subbed in Bell, so at least I get 1 point. Estupiñán did not do that well this week, but they did lose 3-1 to West Ham, so that's no surprise. Then you've got Henry and Mbeumo, both for Brentford, and they also had a draw. Yeah, they had a draw, so pretty average games. Alexander-Arnold, I don't really want him in my team. I may look to transfer him now. Rashford 7 points, Saka 8 points, Fernandes 12 points, solid points there for those midfielders. Haaland didn't have quite as good a week this week, only on 8. So if you did triple points, I think it's triple points for your captain this week, and your captain was Haaland, then because he only got 8 points, and Nketiah scored as well. I had Pickford on the bench who got 2, and Alvarez got 2, so it was probably a good thing that those two were not in the team. Coming to transfers now, I've got one free transfer to make, and I really wanted to get James Ward-Prowse into the team. However, I just cannot make the math work out. So, I'm going to take out Luke Shaw. He's probably not going to be available next week anyway. So I'm going to take Luke Shaw out. That gives me 5.7 points to spend. And I think the options really here are possibly Cash, Anderson or Romero. They are the top 3 performing defenders at the moment. I think Tottenham this week have the easier opposition, so I'm going to stick Romero in there. He's going to bolster up my defensive line. For game week 4, my team selection, I'm going to keep Areola in goal. Henry, Romero, Estupiñán. I'm going to take out Enciso and put Trent back in. Alexander-Arnold, he can go back in. It's looking like a 4-4-2, but do I put Alvarez in? Problem with Alvarez in is he comes on as a sub, and yes, he's scored before, but I don't necessarily think he's going to start. So I think that's going to be my team. Areola, Henry, Romero, Estupiñán, Alexander-Arnold, and then midfield Bruno Fernandes, Rashford, Saka, and Mbeumo, and then Haaland and Nketiah up front. So we shall see how we do after this week. Make sure you join in, guys. Don't forget to do your picks. Do some transfers if you've got them available. Make sure you keep your team fresh. Check who is likely to play and who is likely to be injured and not play. Thank you so much. Stick with me for the remainder of the season. Like, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.